welcome back to my videos, guys. So today I'm making a video on web storage in HTML. So you guys must be wondering, what even is web storage? So guys, web storage is basically saving your work or whatever you guys want to save online with the user while they're on your web page. And so this can be very useful because it will be less time consuming, since just storing it to a database can be more time consuming. For example, you have to connect to the database and also learn how to use the database. So web storage can be less time consuming, which is way more useful. So guys, I'll show you guys how to do this. So let's head on. So guys, let's open up Visual Studio Code. So let's click on this to wait for it to load. And load, there you go. And so you guys might be on this page, the get started page. You guys can click on new file, or you guys can go to file and click new file. So now once we have this new file here, we click file and then we have to save as, or you guys can press Ctrl-Shift-S and let's wait for it. So there you go. So now let's save it as storage.html. Remember to save it as a .html file because that is important. So let's save. So guys, now let's write doc type HTML to declare this document type as HTML. And now let's write our HTML tag. There you go. Let's create our body tag also. There you go. And let's just create, I guess, a heading. Let's create a heading and let's call this web storage. There you go. Web storage. So guys, now to start off with web storage, we're going to be using the script element. So let's do that script element. There you go. And so now inside the script element, this is where we start off with the web storage. This is where we store our stuff to the web. And so we're going to be starting off with, we're going to write local storage, and then we're going to write .set item. And then we're just going to give it like a key, basically. Yes, key string. It says, as you guys can see, set item key string, the key, and it will be in string, and then the value will be a string. So the key, basically, it's like an ID. Let's call it, I guess, toy. And so now the value comes here, which is also a string. So the value is going to be a toy car. So the key is car, basically like the ID, and then we have the toy car. So the toy car is like a kind of toy, so that's why I just named it as toy, the key as toy. So guys, now we have saved this to the web, our string right here, we've saved this to the web. We have saved this toy car, this phrase, to the web. So now we also have to retrieve it, if you guys want to retrieve it, of course. So let's retrieve this. This is how we will retrieve it. We write document dot get element by ID. So now basically what this means is whenever you get something by ID, it will retrieve it. So if you put an element and give it that ID, it will retrieve what we have here. That's what we're trying to do. So let's do result as the ID. And so now .inner HTML equals, and let's write, we're going to write local storage. Basically it's like a function which basically gets storage. .get item, and then we pass the key. So our key is toy, and it's also a string, so we have to put it in double quotes, and there you go. We have retrieved and saved our item here, toy car. We have retrieved it and saved it now. So all we have to do is, of course, now actually like completely finish retrieving it, which we're going to be using div for this. So div, there you go. And so now inside the start tag, we give it an ID, and this is where we use the result ID. So now basically what this does is we have stored this to the web. We have stored toy car as its key is toy, and then we're getting it whenever we use the result ID, which we've used in div, it will retrieve it, and we're retrieving the toy car because its key is toy. So hopefully guys this makes sense. Let's save this and let's run it. So run in debug. Let's wait for it to load, and I'm going to be using Microsoft Edge. And as you guys can see, toy car has appeared. And so guys, make sure that you guys have all the keys and the IDs correct correct spelling, correct capitalization, because that does matter. In case if you guys are wondering, let's say we put like result 1 and we have result here, let's refresh it, it won't come up. So guys, this definitely matters to put the right ID. This can also cause a lot of mistakes, so guys, make sure you guys are putting the right ID or key. So guys, now let's get a little bit more advanced with this web storage. We're going to be doing like a click counter. Basically, when we press a button, it will show how many times you've clicked it, and this can save throughout multiple times you open the page. So if you, let's say we click 5 times and then we close it and then we reopen it, it will be saved. So next time you click, it will show 6, which is pretty cool, guys. So let's do that. So we do not need this inside of script right now. We can also stop this code that we were running. So there you go. And so this time, let's keep the script inside the HTML and body tab because I just like it there. It looks, oops, what have I done? Okay, so guys, yeah, I'm gonna keep it inside the HTML and body tab because I just like it there. It just looks more organized there, and it seems to fit better there for me. So you guys can just keep it there if you guys want. Also, now that since we are going to be using a button, let's just delete this for now. Since we are going to be using a button, let's create our button first of all. So there you go. We don't need to put anything inside. Let's just right click me though. Click me. Yeah, I always like writing click me. It looks funny with the button. So guys, now that we have a button, we're going to be using a function to make the button work. So for a button, we're going to be using a function. Let's do function. Let's call it my function. Pretty classic. And let's put our brackets there, and let's do our curly brackets. There you go. Now let's just write local storage. Of course, we'll start off with it, and let's do something called click count. It won't come up, and we're just creating a click count. So there you go. So we have click count. Let's do now let's do number, since we normally when we save things, it saves as a string, so we're going to be writing number. And so now the value is local storage dot click count, and we're going to do +1. There you go. And so now we've done that. So now next we're going to be retrieving this. We have the click count saved. Whenever we click the button, we have to add the function, which we're going to add in a second. So now to retrieve it, of course, we're going to be doing document dot get element by ID, and let's just do result because that's what we did last time. So result dot inner HTML equals, and we were going to basically do local storage dot click count. There you go. So guys, now let's just of course call the function in the button. So let's do on click equals my function, and of course you guys have to add these brackets here. These I've messed up a lot of times by I didn't add the bracket, and I didn't realize that and I thought it just doesn't work, and then I added the brackets and then it actually worked. So make sure you guys have these brackets with the function name here. So guys, now of course guys, let's of course also create the div, because this is where we're going to display the click count, so we don't need to put anything inside. So I guess I shouldn't have deleted the div, but it's fine. So let's do ID equals ID equals result. So this is where the click count will appear, right under the button. So guys, now we are done. So let's save this and run in debug. Let's wait for it to load. So now we press click me, and as you guys can see, it says 17 because I've already tested this before and I clicked it a few times and it was at 16. It says 17, and we can just keep clicking. I'm at 30. Oh my god. I'm at 41. So if we stop this, I'm at 41, guys. Remember, we were at 41. And so let's save this and run it again. I guess I didn't have to save it. Just run it again. So last time I was at 41, guys. So now I should be at 42, as you guys can see. Now I'm at 42. So it saves it, it remembers it, that what we were on last time. So web storage can also remember it, and it picks up from where we started, which is absolutely amazing. So let's just keep clicking. It just keeps changing. This is absolutely amazing. And if we change this by +10, let's save it and let's refresh. If we click it, it's going by tens now, and we can, since we did +1, it went by 1, now it's going by 10, so we can also change the click count amount right here where it says plus and then the number. So this is amazing. This is also very funny, guys. So guys, now that it shows like our counter, it shows like every time we close it and then we reopen it, it will start off with the number that we ended with. So like, I'll just show you guys one more time. So let's just click. So like if we keep clicking, it started off from like 259, which is where like I ended, let's say. So it started off from where I ended, so I'm at 264. Let's close this, let's run and debug, and let's run it again. So it started off from 264 again. So it starts off with where you ended off, and maybe we don't want that. And so basically what is happening is there's local storage. Basically, we're using local storage, which saves it to the web until we want it, so it can stay for as long as we want. So to change this, we use something called session storage. And so session storage basically keeps it saved until the session. So when the session ends, basically when you close that page, then it will just delete everything, and then when you open it again, it'll just start off fresh and new, so it will not have any of that saved. So that's what we're going to be using. So let's write session storage. Let's just change all the local storages to session storage. There you go. And we also have to use an if and else statement here. So we do if, and then let's just do session storage dot click counter, click count. There you go. And so now we put this inside, and let's do an else. So just put that line inside, and then else we have to put another line. We do session storage dot click count equals, and we just put it 1. This is basically like resetting the click count with session storage. So let's save this now, and let's run and debug. So remember, we were at 270, if you guys remember, like around the 200s place. Now we're back to 1, guys. Let's just keep clicking, click. So now we're at 17. Let's close this, and then let's run it again, and let's wait for it. So like click, and we're at 1 again. So like, yeah, we start off fresh. And so this if and else statement does matter, because I tried without the if and else, and it just doesn't work. It showed nan to me, so guys, it didn't work for me. So guys, use this if and else statement. So guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, guys. So in today's video, basically a summary is that I showed you guys web storage, and web storage can be useful because it is less time consuming, because you guys can just upload it, like save it to the web without having to connect a database, and then also learn how to use a database. Also, in today's video, I showed you guys an example of web storage. Basically, we stored like a toy, and we named it toy car, and we stored it, and then we also retrieved it, and we did that in JavaScript, because yes, we're using JavaScript here. And so that basically, this is how we saved it to the web. And I also showed you guys how to create a click counter using this, using it to save to the web. And so in the click counter, basically every time you click the button, it will run the function, and then it will also show how many times you clicked it. Using div, we used an ID. And so guys, also when we did that, every time we closed it and reopened it, it started off with the number that we ended with. So now because of that, let's say if we wanted to stop that, we use something called session storage. Basically, it stores data for the session, so whenever we close it and reopen it, it starts fresh from the beginning. And we did that by using session storage, and we also use this if and else statement with this line, session storage.clickCount equals 1, basically, which resets it back to 0 and 1. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in another awesome video, guys. So bye, guys!